So for the lab 2, the VPC part, I created a VPC named lab 2, and its IPv4 address is like this. And after that, I created 4 subnets, the NW1234, and their IP address is like this. And for the gateway, I created this gateway and attached this gateway to my lab 2. And also I created the row tables, and it has these 4 subnets within it. So this is a VPC creation part. And for the instance creation part, I created a router, a client, and a server. And because I can't use Wi-Fi OS router on this AWS, I keep failing. So I created an Ubuntu router, and the router has two interfaces. One associated with a elastic IP address and subnet 3, subnet 4, and it's in subnet 3, yeah. And for the server instance, it's in subnet 2, and it has two interfaces, one with elastic IP, and it's in subnet 2, and the other in subnet 4. And for the client, it's in subnet 1 and two interfaces, one elastic, and one in subnet 1 and one in subnet 3. And to launch an instance, firstly we name it, for example, lab, and we select the image and keep here and edit the VPC to set it to the VPC I created, and select the subnet. And here we can create a security group. Remember to allow our SMP, our TCP, and all UDP. And remember to add this source. And also you can use existing security group because I have created some of them. And the interface, you can create the interface you have to use using different subnet, and this cannot be changed after this instance is launched, so be careful. And basically all of this is the most important part, and these advanced details, for example, we have to set the latency shared, tendency shared, capacity reservation, meta enabled, V1 and V2, sort of things like this. So now I have this 3 virtual machines, and now I can log into these 3 virtual machines using SSH, and here. So you can see this one is I have SSH into the router, and it has a 0.2 subnet, and this is the client with 10.1 subnet, and this is the server with subnet 3. So for the VM configuration part, there's a mistake. So the one with subnet 3 is the virtual router, and the one with subnet 1 is the client, and the one with subnet 2 is the server. So let's start with the router. So firstly, let's log into it. I have done these steps. So firstly, I try to ping the client, and there's all loss. There's no connection, and I try to IP route, and the IP is unknown, which means there's no connection. And firstly, I want to install the trace route, and here you can see it's installed successfully. And oh, here I tried to modify this this file. Here I set the net.ipv4.ipforward equal to 1, and this means I can forward IP packets from this interface. And this is to make my modify to validify my changes. And here I check the interface ETH1 and its state is down. So I want to bring it up, and this is wrong, and this one is correct. Bring set ETH1 up. And I found that it keeps says that sudo unable to resolve host IP. So here I tried to do nano etc host, and I added my host IP to the local host, and now it runs well. And here I try to add the address of the client to the ETH1, and you can see that now it's have this address. And now I've tried to ping it, and here it has connection. So router part finished, and let's get to the client part. Similarly, I tried to add the address and to this interface, and unable to resolve, unreachable, no connection, blah blah blah. That's it. And here you can see the ETH1 state is down, so we have to bring it up. And firstly, let's modify the nano etc hosts, and you can see add the IP into the local host, and then we can do link style set ETH1 up, and we can add this address to the ETH1 interface. And now you can see the error is network is unreachable. So I see this IP address. You can see ETH1 is up, and what's the matter? So here let's do IP address add this address to the interface ETH1, and we can see the ETH1's IP address. Now it have this IP address, and add this IP address to the IP route to this ETH1, and now you can ping the client from the client to the server, so there is connection. And I want to trace route the from client to the server, but the trace route is not installed. I want to install this trace route, and it's done, it's okay, but the package trace route has no installation candidate. So I just do sudo apt update, and you can see that, and then we install the trace route, and it's okay. So now you can see we trace route from the client to the server, and it has 2 hops, which means we have the connection, and we can also pin it. That's it. So for the server part, this is kind of weird because, let's see. So similarly as the client, we try to add the address of the client to the server's interface and not reachable, unable to resolve. So let's see, the ETH1 is in state down. So I want to set it up unreachable. So firstly, we modify the host, add this IP address to my local host, and now I can bring it up and I can add this address. I want to try ping now, but I can't, and there is no connection. Why is that? The ETH1 is up and the address is here, and I want to try to ping the client from the server, but there's no connection, and traceroute have not installed yet. And ping, no connection. So here I try to modify the net IPv4 IP forward and set this IP forward to 1 to enable packet forwarding and validify this change. But there's still no connection, and I tried to debug the bug. Finally, I found that it was because my security groups of the client, and let's see, security groups here. For the first, it only has the SSH rows. The SSH row. It doesn't have both these three rows, allowing TCP, UDP, and all ICMP. And ping is have to be allowed by this row, the all ICMP row. So after I modified the security group, added the three rows, and now it can ping from the server to the client, and I can see the IP route and trace route not installed yet, and I have to just do the same thing as the client, and you can see that installed successfully. Trace route, now it has 2 hops, and that's it. And for the last part, we try to use the IPRF, not installed, try to install it, and for here. For client, IPRF install, and firstly, we start the IPRF3 in the server, and we can see and use this command to set the bandwidth to be 10 megabits and to set a connection to the from the client to the server, and it runs like this. The bandwidth, which is similar close to the set it 10 megabits per second, transfer jitter loss, and this indicates a rather good network environment. And we set the delay 100 ms, and we can see the bandwidth decrease and increase the loss and jitter. And we set delay 0 and loss 10%, and we can see the jitter increased, loss increased, and we see the std message. You can see this message, and finally we try to set a rather real environment, and you can see the TBF rate 100 megabits, latency 1 ms, and a sudden burst. You can see the increase the jitter and increase the loss.